Iran is escalating its warnings, declaring total control over the world's most critical oil choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. New drone footage released by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, claims to show the real situation inside the strait. Tehran says every movement in these waters is now under its watch, and the warning is chilling. The IRGC says any miscalculation by its enemies will trap them in what it calls deadly whirlpools of Hormuz. The threat comes after Donald Trump ordered a naval blockade of the strait, a move that has pushed tensions to the brink. The stakes couldn't be higher. The Strait of Hormuz is the artery of global energy, a route through which a massive share of the world's oil flows, and Iran knows it. Experts say controlling Hormuz is Tehran's strongest leverage. The higher the tension, the higher global oil prices surge, shaking economies worldwide. Before the war, the flashpoints were clear. Iran's nuclear ambitions, possible nuke-making capability of Iran, which U.S. still continues to find, ballistic missiles, and regional influence. But now, the epicenter of the conflict has shifted, from nuclear talks to control of the seas. Iran appears to have discovered a powerful reality. The Strait of Hormuz isn't just a passage, it's a weapon. Tehran is now refusing to fully reopen the strait unless there is a complete end to the war.
U.S. Navy warship 121. This is Sepah Navy station. You must alter course and go back to the Indian Ocean immediately. If you don't obey my order, you will be targeted. Out.
Iran's state media, Press TV, has released what it calls proof of a dramatic naval confrontation in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has accused the United States of staging what it calls a failed propaganda stunt. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, has shared footage showing its forces warning a U.S. warship attempting to pass through the strait. Tehran claims the vessel seen in the video was forced to turn back. There were two ships identified as the USS Michael Murphy, DDG-112, and USS Frank E. Peterson, Jr., DDG-121, both advanced Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. According to the report, the U.S. vessels came within minutes of destruction after Iranian cruise missiles allegedly locked onto them and attack drones were deployed overhead.
U.S. Navy warship 121. This is Sepah Navy station. You must alter course and go back to the Indian Ocean immediately. If you don't obey my order, you will be targeted. Out.
This is Coalition Warship 121, engaged in transit passage in accordance with international law. No challenge is attended to you.
U.S. Navy warship transiting in the vicinity of Fujairah Port and Oman Sea. This is Sepah Navy. This is Sepah Navy. Last warning, last warning, last warning.
Close to High Island Port.
Attention all vessels, attention all vessels, attention all vessels in Oman Sea. This is Iranian Sepah Navy. If you see any warship in your vicinity, keep a distance more than 10 miles from them because I'm ready to open fire on them without any warning.
The incident reportedly unfolded at the mouth of the Persian Gulf, where Iranian forces issued a 30-minute ultimatum. The report claims the U.S. ships attempted deception, switching off tracking systems and spoofing identities to appear as commercial vessels from Oman. But Iranian forces say they detected the move early, intercepting the destroyers with patrol vessels and flying drones directly overhead. One of the destroyers allegedly tried to push forward until it was warned again on international radio. Moments later, both U.S. vessels reportedly retreated. Iran claims the ships fully complied with IRGC warnings. The report alleges the operation was designed to test Iran's naval readiness exploit the ceasefire and influence high-stakes U.S.-Iran talks in Islamabad. Those talks, held under Pakistani mediation, collapsed after nearly 21 hours with no breakthrough. Iranian forces also issued a broader alert, ordering all nearby vessels to stay at least 10 miles away to avoid collateral damage in case of a strike. A senior Iranian military official has now rejected U.S. claims entirely, insisting that only Iran controls access to the Strait of Hormuz. However, these claims come solely from Iranian state media and have not been independently verified. Iran is hitting back and hard at threats to control the world's most critical oil choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran is calling it a self-made problem. Iran says any blockade won't solve anything, it will only make matters worse. Iran's message is blunt. A blockade doesn't open routes, it shuts them down. The only way forward, Tehran insists, is diplomacy, not domination. A direct jab at Donald Trump, who has floated aggressive control measures over the strait. The start to all of this was once again the U.S. President Donald Trump's cryptic message. Hours after U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance announced the peace negotiations between Washington and Tehran had collapsed, Trump gave a strong hint about what his next step would be as he signaled an intense military action against Iran. Taking to Truth Social, Trump reposted an article from the website Just the News, which shed light on what actions the president could take against Tehran after the talks yielded no results. The article also highlighted how the U.S. Navy could exert control over the Strait of Hormuz. It would be very easy for the U.S. Navy to exert complete control over what does and does not go up and down the strait now. The outlet quoted the Lexington Institute's national security expert, Rebecca Grant. But behind the rhetoric, Iran is raising the stakes. Security Chief Abraham Azizi has proposed a controversial new plan, forcing all vessels entering the strait to pay tolls under Iranian control. Tehran says it wants full management of the waterway, citing national interests. That proposal has triggered alarm bells across the global shipping industry. Maritime watchdogs are calling it illegal, warning that no single country can impose charges on an international transit route. Ship owners are now being told, "Do not pay, do not comply." Even more explosive, a bizarre idea from Washington. President Trump has reportedly floated a joint U.S.-Iran venture to collect transit payments, a move critics say would legitimize control over a global lifeline. On the ground, or rather at sea, the crisis is far from over. Despite a ceasefire, traffic through Hormuz remains choked. Hundreds of fully loaded oil tankers are stuck inside the Gulf, but almost no empty ships are willing to go back in. Why? The answer is simple: fear. Shipping companies and insurers don't trust the fragile truce. A temporary ceasefire isn't enough to risk billion-dollar vessels getting trapped in a war zone. This leads to a dangerous imbalance. Around 400 loaded tankers waiting to exit, barely 100 empty ships ready to enter. Without inbound vessels, the supply chain simply breaks down. And it's not just oil. Nearly 30% of the world's fertilizer supply, along with food cargo and industrial goods, is now effectively stranded in the region. Experts warn even if the strait reopens today, normalcy could take months to return, because reopening the gate is one thing, restoring trust is another.
News never stops. The world keeps turning, and every turn tells a story. Wars, elections, geopolitics, Davids versus Goliaths.
While everyone is celebrating the US-China trade talk, Trump has been quietly doing something else across Asia.